Hey dudes, this is tempo. We want to make sure you're exercising at the right tempo. And in this case, I have an example 3-1-1-1. In a repetition, just one repetition, there's four parts of the movement, and each part is represented by a number of seconds. So the first movement is the downward movement. Technical terms, that's eccentric. The second number is the pause at the bottom when you reach the bottom. The third number is the movement on the way up, and the last movement is the pause. So depending on what exercise you're doing, if you're doing a bench press or if you're doing a squat, you're starting at the top position, and this is the first movement, 3 seconds on the way down. Some exercises are different, like a deadlift, where you're picking something up and moving from the bottom up. In that case, the beginning starts with this third number, the upward movement. So this is always, when you read these four numbers, the first number is always the movement on the way down. Whether it's an exercise that starts here or here, these numbers are always in the same sequence. So let's go through tempo and how it relates to time under tension. These 2 points are extremely important for building muscle, but if your main goal is body fat, or you want to do both, body fat reducing, or you do both, this is extremely important. When you're lifting weights, you should be in a more correct tempo. You shouldn't be going too fast. You shouldn't be going too slow. Each number has a very good purpose. So as an example, I have a dumbbell here. What we'll do here is, remember, some exercises start in the upward movement. So does this lateral raise. So we'll go up 1 second, hold at the top for 1 second, but 3 seconds down. So this is slower. Pause at the bottom for 1, up 1, hold for 1, down 3. So that's an example. I'll post an example down below so you can see in more detail. It will show you in more practical terms exactly what's going on. But when it comes to time under tension, you can imagine to build muscle, to get it working the most, and to help you burn body fat, you want to be under tension in a particular muscle. So in this case with the lateral raise, that movement on the way down, going nice and slow, my mind to muscle connection really works. I can feel the muscle fibers burning, bring it up 1 second, hold at the top for a second, and down slow. This allows me to really connect my mind to muscle. That's really important when you want to get a muscle working. So the downward movement is extremely important as well. You can handle more weight in the downward movement than the upward movement. The upward movement's the hardest. So in that particular case, we want to really control it on the way down, make sure your muscle is working, because you actually build more muscle, you get it firing more in the downward movement. That's why we go slower in the downward movement. So in time under tension, now here's the tricky part. You can imagine adding these numbers, these seconds, all together. 3 + 1 + 1 + 1 is 6 seconds. If you were to do 10 reps, then 6 seconds per repetition, that's 60 seconds to do a whole set. You can imagine having your shoulders working for 60 seconds to do 10 reps. Your shoulders are going to be on fire. That mind to muscle connection is going to be firing like crazy. Your muscles will be working like crazy. You'll see a lot of guys in the gym doing lateral raises, and they'll do 10 reps in about 15 seconds, and the exercise is over. So 15 seconds time under tension is just really not enough to get the muscle really working. But if you're in 30 seconds or 45 seconds or 60 seconds time under tension, that's when you can get the muscle really going. So the time under tension as it relates to this particular set of numbers here, time under tension is really important, and you can see it's a slow, controlled movement where it does take 6 seconds exercising at this tempo to do one repetition. And when you stack together 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 repetitions together, that's when you feel the muscle burning. So when you have a set where you're exercising and you find when you're getting over the halfway mark and it's burning too much, and you start lifting faster and faster, like this tempo, that is much faster than what's here, that means your weight that you're using is too heavy for the exercise and the tempo and the number of sets and reps that are required out of you. So if you need to speed up, if your last reps are much faster than the first reps, then chances are you'll need a lighter weight. And there's no shame in that. What I see a lot is guys trying to go too heavy, sometimes too light, but the ego gets in the way and we go heavy too much, too often, and that's when we run into improper time under tension, improper tempo. We want to make sure we're slowing it down, not just jumping through an exercise like this, doing a lateral raise that looks more like a bird flying. Because if you're just blasting through the reps just to make sure you hit the number of sets and repetitions that the program requires, but you're not doing it at a correct tempo and you don't have enough time under tension, you just don't get the benefit out of it. So with these, the time under tension, this is just one example. You'll see some different ones. Check out the videos below where I show you in more practical terms of what good tempo looks like, what good time under tension looks like, and also some more videos in just a different term of, if you're building muscle or you're building strength or you're trying to keep your metabolic rate high. I'll give you examples down below, so go ahead and check those out.